In a previous video, you watched as I created a song. Well, I sent it over to Dan, who co-writes everything with me. So let's see what he had to say.
So hello everyone, my name is Dan. I am, or have been, sort of a collaborator with Stu for a couple years now on songwriting and production and that sort of thing. He asked me to collaborate on this video, and as I have a face made for radio, I'm going to stay on this end and just kind of talk you through my role in our collaboration. So Stu is one of those guys that just seems to be able to pick up instruments and play them, which is at once amazing and a little makes me a little envious at the same time. But it is really nice that I can focus on things I really enjoy, and those things happen to line up with things that he doesn't seem to like to do as much or just would rather pass off to me. So the usual way we collaborate is that he will provide a rough track and probably a theme and maybe a line of lyrics or two, but then it's sort of up to me to take it from there and create full-on melody, full set of lyrics. And I also end up enjoying doing kind of the background vocals, so I'll try to throw together some harmonies as well. So I am by no means an expert at any of this stuff. I am a rank amateur. To the extent that I feel like I've got good ideas, I've probably gotten them from other YouTubers and other sort of online courses I've taken. But just to share how I do things, when I start, when Stu gives me a rough track to listen to, I will just kind of listen through once, listen to the chord progression, and just start to hum a few ideas. Again, I think because this is an art, there are so many different ways to put together a song. Really, if it works for you and you get people to listen, you're probably doing it right. That being said, I think there are a few things that kind of stick in my head as I'm thinking through what a song should sound like. So obviously melody matters a lot. For me, I really think of the rhythm quite a bit. I want the lyrics to help propel the overall song sound or feel of the song. If you're one of those people that's kind of into English literature, you know about meter. English tends to stress the first syllable of a word. So a lot of times you get sort of a da 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 sort of a feel to English. You know, if you know in your Shakespeare, you know you've got iambic pentameter, da 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 da. So unstressed, unstressed, stressed. So English is nice that you can play around, you can do a lot of different things with it, but once you have a rhythm, once I have a rhythm, I should say, it's very important for me to keep it going. At the very basic level, I want to make sure I'm not stressing the wrong syllables in a word. Very occasionally I'll hear that in a song that's actually professionally produced and out there, and that's the only thing I remember about that song is they pronounced that word wrong. So that's something that's important to me. So melody and rhythm. Some other things that do matter, I think, if you're really trying to make a song that's a little bit catchy, is you want to make sure that you are building toward the chorus. And the easiest way to do that is to make your verse in a lower register than the chorus. So you kind of work your way in a rising pattern toward the top, toward the most important part, the part that you want to grab the listener by the ears, which would be the chorus. Connected to that, but again, a little more basic, is differentiating. I can pronounce that, differentiating between verse and chorus. You can do that rhythmically, you can do that melodically, but obviously there are exceptions to every single one of these rules. There are songs that keep the same rhythm all the way through. But in general, I think one of the easier ways to make a song stand out, make a melody stand out, is to switch off between the verse and the chorus, have something different happening. What I've got so far, Stu has sent me, you can see on the screen here, a rough track. That's the top line here. He's given me, on the second level, an idea for a melody. Now, Stu's pretty laid back. He lets me pretty much do what I want with the melody, but those are just ideas that he has. So I'm going to listen a little bit to the beginning. I can tell from where the melody starts here that the first is intro, so I can listen to that if I want, but for our purposes today, I'm going to skip into where the melody is supposed to come in. I see a little break here. I'm expecting this to kind of repeat. It seems to do that. Okay, so it looks like we're doing the same pattern again. And if I wanted, I could ask him to send me the chord progression, chord chart, so I can kind of see what's going on, but I think I hear what's happening. Here we come to the chorus. Okay, so what I'm noticing is the chorus is very short. Stu does that to me sometimes. First time too, it's going to be short. He'll probably extend it when we get to the second chorus. But for right now, we'll work with this. There's nothing in those chords when we got to the chorus that I heard that really felt, the chords themselves don't give it away that this is the chorus. So I kind of feel like that's going to be the job of the lyrics and the melody is to make it clear to the listener, okay, here we are, here's the chorus, here's where you sing along. So it looks like, when you look up here, that looks like progression is repeated 4 times, or kind of 2 sets of 2, and then we go into the chorus. There's a couple different ways you can do that. You can just do 4 sort of mini verses that all work as the first lead up to the chorus. We can sort of treat this as a set of 2, and then do something different melodically in the second 2. And then a short chorus. So the other thing Stu has given me is a theme. I try to stick with the theme that he gives me, even if I take it in a different direction. So his theme is winter is coming. Now, he said he didn't want it to actually be about the seasons. It's talking about a relationship. So the information he sent me is it's okay if he wants to make this sort of, or if I want to make this relationships hitting a rough time and things are coming apart, or we've hit a rough time and the cold forces us to cling to each other for warmth. I could go either direction with that. From here, I can go a couple different directions. I can come up with some lyrics and just see how they fit, or I can try to hum a melody. I'm sure there's lots of ways to do this. I kind of like to just hum along, see what I come up with. So he has given me an idea here. I kind of want to see what I come up with first on my own, and then I'll go back and listen to it. So let's see what we can do here. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, so I don't mind that. That might have something worth pursuing. Another thing I didn't mention is repetition, I think, is good. There's a fine line, I think. It can get monotonous, but at the same time, I think for a pop song anyway, repetition kind of helps the listener lock in and enjoy the song right away. I actually cheated a little bit. I worked on this a little bit ahead of time. And so I do have another melody idea that I was happy with, but then again, a lot of things I sing at night and I get up the next morning and I think, oh no, that was a mistake. So let's see how I feel about this one. Okay, so a couple things there that you will notice immediately. I am not a trained singer. I can match pitch, I can carry a tune, I can sing harmony. It kind of ends there. So please please don't be turned off by the rough nature of the voice. Other thing, if we actually do end up recording this, I feel like where I'm heading right now with the melody, I may have to ask Stu to recast this in a lower key, because I'm not sure my voice is going to be good up where the melody seems to want to go. A slow song like this, I kind of like leaving gaps, leaving space between phrases. I think that works for a song that's supposed to be kind of somber. It also gives me room as a lyricist that if I need to squish a couple extra syllables in for meaning purposes, I can do that. There are those spaces kind of built in that makes that a little easier for me. Okay, so I've got a chorus for now. Oh, but winter is coming. Oh, can't you feel it? Killing the love left in your eyes. Now, for me, I don't know if I'm sorry, I've got a cat meowing outside because he wants to come in and I won't let him. Anyway, so that's what I've got right now. I need to build up a verse now. And I'm not sold on this chorus. I don't know if I really like killing the love left in your eyes. It works rhythmically, but I might want to come up with something better. So, because I'm kind of leaning toward, as we said earlier, the notion that in the wintertime you kind of huddle close for warmth. I kind of like that image. And so I think I might lean into that a little bit. And that would give this a more hopeful tone. And then I definitely wouldn't want killing the love left in your eyes. One other thing to note, if you're new at this, there's no rhyme in the chorus. For me, that works just fine because it's, as I said, I think it's a half chorus. I'm guessing Stu will double this measure count the second time we go through. And then I could sing this first part of this chorus, end with eyes or whatever, sing the second half and end with something that rhymes with eyes. And that would be fine. And obviously beyond that, rhyme is very overrated, I think, in music. Rhythm is very powerful at getting the words to feel like they lock in and belong. With rhyme, you can be very approximate. As long as you've got a very similar vowel sound, you don't really have to be perfect with mile and smile or eyes and wise. You can play around. People aren't going to remember the perfect rhyme or not the first time through. They're just going to have a vague memory of the sound of the words. So I think you're good there. Okay, it looks like there's 2 sets of 4 measures each. So ideally, I'm going to have, 8 lines to fill. If I just see something like this sort of structurally on the paper, it makes it a little easier for me to think out how I want the lyrics to go. So I know winter is coming. I think I want to put something at the top here to remind me of where I'm heading with this thematically. So it's huddle close for warmth. But beyond that, I'm going to have to go to work here, and I will check back with you when I've got some lyrics, and I'll kind of talk you through the process that I used to come up with them. Okay, so I think I'm probably bending the rules quite a bit. Stu wanted a live creation of a song lyrics, but that is beyond me. I have to sit and think and try and retry and all that sort of thing. So I'd left off with the chorus idea. Oh, but winter is coming. Oh, can't you feel it? Killing the love left in your eyes. Don't really like that third line. I'm definitely going to change it, but rhythmically it works, and it gives me sort of a format to remember as I go back and fix it later. So I went on, I tried to think of some lyrics that would go for a verse. And again, I really can't give you a play-by-play or like a as it happens type of a thing, because that is not how I do things very well. I'm not spontaneous like that, unfortunately. So if you remember, let me play the melody line I had in mind for the first verse. Oh, that's kind of loud. Da 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 da. So that gives me a little bit of room to work with, and I did come up with a couple of ideas. Days of summer overshadowed, all the daylight quickly waned. Can't read my own writing there. You and I stand sad and broken like a tree stripped of its leaves. Now, it doesn't rhyme. And I know I just said that rhyming doesn't matter, but I want to get at least a little closer. And I was stuck on that. I like the image, the tree stripped of its leaves since it's wintertime and all that. And so I knew I was going to have to change one of those two things. Anyway, I left it. And then I came back the next day, and I had a little bit of a lucky fluke. I started singing the second verse, this just looked like scrolling, so I kind of forgot about it. Started there and came up with another verse to go along with this one. So all of a sudden I thought, I could just start right here. This could be the very first line. And then I came up with, and the wind blows cold and rainy as our hearts drop by degrees. So the whole thing, let me see if I can sing along here a little bit. You and I stand sad and broken like a tree stripped of its leaves, and the wind blows cold and rainy as our hearts drop by degrees. So I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that second phrase and see if I want to change exactly where I want the melody of this line to go. I've got a change coming up here. Well, first of all, let me go back. I went ahead then and kept leaves. So you and I stand sad and broken like a tree stripped of its leaves, and the wind blows cold and rainy as our hearts drop by degrees. So I kind of like that. I like the imagery of the wordplay, I guess, of temperature dropping, but it could also be, hearts getting heavier or whatever. So again, I've got the general idea of that Stu wanted, that there's a couple that's coming up on a tough time. And I think, as I said in the previous little chunk that I recorded, that I want to lean into the, holding together for warmth. So that's kind of what I'm heading for. So now I've got an idea for that. So I've got this set for the first verse, and then I don't know what you want to call this, like pre-chorus or whatever, but I've got to come up with something else for this now. I don't know if I'm going to keep that. So that portion that I just played, just where I was just kind of humming, I want the overall contour of the melody to be rising toward the chorus, but I think I overdid it. I think I had a little too much. I went too high. So I got to go back and kind of think that through. So let me see one more time. I may edit this out, but let's just see what happens if I listen to the melody that I've got with the lyrics and then see what happens. We'll just see what I come up with. You and I stand sad and broken, like a tree stripped of its leaves, and the wind blows cold and rainy as our hearts drop by degrees. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's coming, oh, can't you feel it? Killing the love. Yeah, I think that works a little better. All right, back now. I went ahead and recorded a vocal just to get those thoughts down while they were fresh. So we'll go ahead and listen to that and see what we think. I also added a return track with some effects and all that sort of thing because I really don't like the way my voice sounds dry. So I find if I sing along, it's probably really bad form. But if I go ahead and put a return track with some reverb and all that, I'm happier with the way my voice sounds and I feel like I sing better. So that may not be true, but it's what makes me happy. So here we go. You and I stand sad and broken, like a tree stripped of its leaves, and the wind blows cold and lonely as our hearts drop by degrees. So I changed up the rhythm a little bit. It's going to sound a little more like the kind of leading us into what the chorus rhythm is going to be. Winter is coming, oh, can't you feel it? Killing the love left in your eyes. Okay, so I like it well enough to go on. Now I just have to figure out sort of thematically what has to happen before I get to the chorus. And I really, really, really don't like that line anymore, the killing love left in your eyes. I got to come up with something better. Particularly because this is just a half verse. If I leave it like this, that doesn't match the theme that I'm looking for. So I've got to come up with something that's a little more, there's got to be at least a glimmer of hope or endurance or something there. So maybe winter's coming, oh, can't you feel it? And then something about time to move closer, time to come here beside me. I'll keep you warm, something like that. That's pretty cheesy. I'll come up with something better, but that might be where I want to go with that line. But also, I suppose I could do that. I could get the concept of, hey, come closer, in that little middle part where I'm still just humming. So again, I am not gonna I have to think and just stare at a blank page silently for a while, which makes really bad video. So I'm gonna cut this out. I'm gonna give it some thought, and then I'll pop back on when I've come up with something. Okay, that only took about 15 minutes or so, I think, to come up with this. I was able to bash out something to fit in that part of the verse just before the chorus. So the lyrics I came up with are, "And all around us, the heartless voices, like wind, they chill our hearts, hoping we stumble, hoping to pull us apart." So again, I think I will change. I'm sure I'll be changing some of this stuff. I'm kind of making a liar out of myself that I'm trying to insist on rhymes. Honestly, there are times where I don't, or at least close rhymes. This one is a little more on the nose, but I'm not unhappy with it. I think it gets the notion. What I'm thinking, I guess, as I build this lyric out, again, it kind of wrecks it to explain the symbolism, I guess, but this is kind of a peek beneath the hood type of a thing. So where my mind is starting to go with the song is that the winter is maybe outside forces that are pulling at this couple. So I've got an image of the couple, standing on a ridge with just a whipping wind that's just sucking the warmth out. And you need to stay close to someone. You can kind of pool your body warmth and stay warmer longer, but the wind is trying to stop that from happening. So maybe that's the outside forces of some sort. So here's the way it sounds now. So I'll just go ahead and play from the verse to the chorus.
You and I stand, sad and broken, like a tree stripped of its leaves, and the wind blows cold and lonely as our hearts drop by degrees, and all around us the heartless voices like wind, they chill our hearts, hoping we stumble, hoping to pull us apart. Now winter is coming, oh can't you feel it? Come to my side and hold me close.
All right, so the more that I listen to that chorus, I gotta say, I like my melody. I feel like, let me restate that. I like the rhythm of the melody. I feel like it hits on the beat really well and kind of encourages sing-along, which I think maybe makes it a little catchier. So there's lots in here to change. Just as a side note, I'm suddenly realizing that when I'm writing something like this and singing it and trying to get the melody right, I do it and do it and do it. And that's, I think, when I start to lose perspective. I start to, things that I'm like, oh, that's terrible, I'm going to change that, I'm going to fix that. The more that I get used to hearing those things in the song, it's harder for me to remember what I wanted to change. So a lot of professional songwriters will tell you, you really need to have someone else listen. You need to go back and rewrite. Don't ever, ever, ever stick with the first draft. I need to follow that advice. I am terrible at that. Once something is down on paper, I hate having to go back and do it again. When something is recorded, I hate having to pull it apart. But really should do that, because there's parts of this that I think, oh, this is going to be cool, I'm going to like this, and there's parts that I think that's weak. Just listening to this, I don't hate this little part that I just wrote, but I just kind of did a whatever melody, and it meanders, and I don't like that. So I need to find a way to sharpen up, tighten up this melody and make it go somewhere to really lead into the chorus. So that's probably the next task. But for now, we do have a verse, we do have a chorus, And I found that once I've got that down, the rest is much easier. So the second verse, I'm not really sure right off the top of my head what I would write about. Maybe turn from the imagery toward more concrete. What are the problems that are facing this couple? I don't know. I could do that. Maybe more just kind of encouraging each other, or reminders of having to fight together and stay warm together, that sort of thing. That might be a good thing to do. And then I haven't listened to the rest of this song yet. I should have. I'm assuming that Stu is going to double that chorus, but if he doesn't, I may ask him to, because I think the chorus needs to say more than "Winter's coming, you gotta hold me." Maybe just a little bit more. So, all right, that's where I'm at. We'll pick this up later. Okay, so I went ahead and listened to the rest of the rough track that Stu sent me, and I was right. There was second verse was half as long as verse 1, and the chorus was twice as big. So I knew I had to add some more lyrics for the chorus. So I kept thinking of the image of kind of two people standing with the wind whipping by them. And so I went with the second part of the chorus: "My body can warm you, shield and protect you, guarding a heart nobody knows." Again, not quite sure about the last line. I feel like I want to change that. Now, I'll be honest, again, I'm not professional by any stretch. Very amateur with my lyrics, but I do think that a problem I fall into sometimes is I think I'm not abstract enough. I get a little too concrete sometimes with my lyrics, and I notice in a lot of songs that I listen to, there are lines that I think I don't really know what that means. I mean, I kind of do. Like sometimes there are songs that they convey a meaning even though the words don't quite. If that makes sense. Maybe that doesn't. So anyway, I'm trying to be a little looser with my words, and just I like the sound of "A Heart Nobody Knows," and it kind of ruins it to explain it, but it kind of works in my mind. The thought that, I mean, it's a couple of steps, but maybe I, the singer, am protecting this partner that's very shy, doesn't, the world doesn't know her. And, and I'm the one that's going to try to keep her warm in this difficult time. So I don't know, maybe that doesn't work. As I said, I might come back to it in a day and see if it still looks like anything. So then I did have to go back to, so I did that. And then I had to go back to the second part of the verse, or that little like shorter verse for verse 2, and I decided to go ahead and copy the feel of the second half of my first verse. I think that just makes more sense. Plus, the way I worded it, I had more syllables to play with, and if I've only got half as much space, I want more syllables to try to get some ideas across. This is what I came up with: is I know it's easy to keep to yourself, try to manage this alone, but I know I need you, and I think you need me to fight off the cold. I finally did what I said, and I was like, you don't have to rhyme perfectly. So lone, cold, those don't really rhyme, and I may come back and change those anyway. But you've got the vowel sound that's the same, that kind of starts leading toward a rhyme, maybe. Might just be fooling myself there. But the other thing, and this is, I don't know if this is something that lyricists really look at, but because I sing the stuff I write, I know this cold is going to be up high. I'm going to sing it kind of high. O's sound much nicer in the high register than an E or an I or those kind of vowels. So I'm always happy when I can get one of those in at a point in the song that's going to go up high. So that was something else I considered. So here's the whole part that I'm singing anyway, start to finish. You can see what you think of what I've done so far.
our hearts drop by degrees. And all around us the heartless voices like wind, they chill our hearts. Hoping we stumble, hoping to pull us apart. Oh, winter is coming, oh, can't you feel it? Come to my side and hold me close.
Now I could have just sung over this part, made it a full, made the second verse just as long as the first. I was heading that direction and I thought, no, this is supposed to be a solo. I probably should have picked up on that quicker. So I just left it blank.
I know it's easy to keep to yourself, try to manage this alone. But I know I need you, and I think you need me to fight off the cold. 'Cause winter is coming, oh, can't you feel it? Come to my side and hold me close. My body can warm you, shield and protect you, guarding a heart nobody knows. Oh, winter is coming, oh, can't you feel it? Come to my side and hold me close. My body can warm you, shield and protect you, guarding a heart nobody knows.
Okay, so that's what I've got so far. I'm happy-ish with it. I mean, I think it holds together okay. Again, from a lyric standpoint, I don't know if I love the winds being people's voices tearing us apart. That's fine, but I guess in my mind, the scenario I came up with is that, maybe it's just circumstances or situation beyond anybody's control. Some sort of a crisis or tragedy. But I might go back and rework that a little bit. I think there's probably a way to equate that sort of thing with the cold wind. But for right now, this is a good start. This is probably what I will send to Stu. I really want to re-sing it. I might go through it one more time because as I listen, it's pretty pitchy. I can usually hit the big notes okay, but it's the small eighth notes in the phrases between that I get kind of lazy and I don't always land on notes that actually work within the key. So this one will take some work, I think, to get my voice to get it sounding like I would like it. But I think I don't know what Stu's got planned, but that might be part 2 of all of this. So I will wait along with you and we'll just see.
That was great, Dan. Thanks a lot for doing that. Really interesting. Wow. Well, looks like I've got my work cut out for me. So I'll be back with another part on the song production. Alright. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all later. Alright, bye.